everyone, Emily Duplessis here from Rental Rookie, and today I'm going to answer the question, will I run into problems if I try to finance too many properties from the bank? And this is definitely a hot topic and a definitely maybe a contentious one a little bit too. I will say that you will probably run into issues if you're using straight financing for every property that you buy. Once you get up around the 4 mark, once like buying those first 4 properties typically is pretty easy. You don't really have to run into any, besides typical bank guidelines and the strictness of the banks, you're gonna run into some of that. But once you get to 4, anywhere from like 4 up to, there are some banks that will still lend up to 10 properties, but those are not the everyday banks that you would think about going to. They're kind of few and far between. But it's definitely something that you are going to want to think about whenever you're kind of planning out your map of investing in rental property, is that after 4 properties, you might start to run into some red tape. You might have to start putting more money down. You might have to start having higher reserves. And it's just going to be harder to find banks who are going to lend with you with that. Now, a couple of things to consider. If you've been kind of working with a local bank and bought your first couple of properties with them, you may have built up a relationship with them where they feel comfortable going and continuing to lend you money. Maybe they'll keep it on the books and keep it, portfolio and in the bank themselves at their bank and not sell it in the secondary market. So if you built up that relationship, that could be advantageous for you there. On the other hand, one thing you might want to consider is working with a certified mortgage planning specialist that is a broker. Somebody who doesn't just work with one bank, right? You're not just calling up PNC and working just with PNC. You are working with a broker who's able to kind of check the rates and check the guidelines from many different banks. And so in that case, you might have a better chance of getting that loan if you're kind of past that 4 mark. If you're at those 5, 6, 7, you might have a better chance of finding a bank that will lend for you if you work with a mortgage planning specialist that is a broker that's able to kind of shop around and check out all the different banks. But you will start to run into some issues and some red tape once you hit that 4 property mark.